Engaged Lessons for the 21st Century.
In this video, you're going to learn how to design an introduction presentation for PowerPoint. Now, it's very similar to Microsoft Word, so you've probably, if you looked at the other video, you can see how to do them in both. However, one is slightly different than the other, and we're going to show you some of the details. Now, the idea here is for you to become your own author and use your imagination, as you'll see. So, with no further ado, let's get on with the video. As we stated previously, we are going to show you how to create a small museum, if you will, in PowerPoint, just like we did in Microsoft Word. Now, it's imperative, it's important that when you start working on this, you save and save often. The first thing we're going to do is click on the down arrow for layout, and in doing so, we'll click on blank. Then we'll click on Insert, Shapes, and we want the rectangular one, and we'll put it right about here. Hold down our left mouse and create it maybe about that size. If you want, pull the handle down, make it a little bit larger. Next, we're going to need a trapezoid. The next object we want is an insert. Is click on Shape again, and we want to click on this trapezoid. And we'll put it right about here. Oop. Now, make it a little bit wider. Grab this green circle, and let's move it so it's very close to the other side. I'm going to hold down the Control key and the arrow, so this way we can very gingerly move it up. Next, we want to move this up so it covers right up to that line, and grab this arrow, move it right down. You can see this is very similar to what we did in Microsoft Word. Now I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Next, we need a back, so I'm going to click on the horizontal and hit Control D to dupe. And grab this and put it right about here. And again, we want to grab the handles and make them a little bit smaller so they'll line up. Make this one a little bit wider for our background. Okay, now we need another trapezoid, so I'm going to click on this one and hit Control D again to dupe and place it right about here. However, what we're going to have to do is turn this around. Now, you can see it pretty well matches up, but let's get it exact. I don't know how big we want this one, but let's make it about that size. Next, we need another wall, so I place it on this one, and I hit Control D again to duplicate it, and let's move it over. Now they all should be pretty well lined up. Let's make this one a little bit bigger and make this one a little bit wider. Okay, so here we have it. We have our background for our museum. Now make sure you save and save often. Okay, the next thing we like to do is change the background. To do that, I'm going to click on the first background and hold down my Shift key and then click on the other ones. Then I'm going to click on Format, Shape Fill. Now you can choose whatever you want. I'm going to choose Texture, and I'm going to try this one. However, our lines, let me click here and change the lines to black. And that should work. That looks pretty good. That's what you like. Please remember, these are ideas. I went to Yahoo, typed in background, wallpaper, patterns, images. And you can see I got quite a few images. Now I chose one, but don't get excited. You can pick any one you want. These are just examples of what you might want. I had chosen this one, and I right-clicked, and I hit Save Picture As. Now remember where I saved it. I probably saved it in a folder. I know I saved it in a folder. You will too. That's relative to what you're doing, so you know where to find it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the first wall, hold down my Shift key, and click on them all. Then I'm going to click on my down arrow, click on picture, click on the picture I had chosen for the background, and hit insert. Now, you may like this one or you may not. Let me move this one over. Well, I'll move that one over a little bit later on. Now, you choose whatever background you'd like. I'm going to leave this one up. Remember, this is just an example. Remember, I said save and save often. Also, what I'm going to do is highlight this one, and I'm going to right click and hit duplicate slide. That way I have two slides. I'll keep on working on this one, but in case I make a major mistake, at least I have a backup one. And if you really feel insecure, right click and hit duplicate slide again, so you have three of them. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, the next thing I would like to do is put a floor in. Simply click on shapes again after you hit insert, hit the rectangle, and place it right about here. Hold down my left mouse and put your floor right there. Next, I'm going to right click and send it to the back. And there's your floor, but you might not want that color. So again, you want to click on it, and your floor shape, you decide what you'd like. Texture, probably something in this color. You decide if you want a wooden floor or not. Or you could add a carpet if you'd like. Just get a picture of a carpet. I'm going to click on this one and click OK. Now, your outline, however, we want to make sure that there is no line. Okay? Now you would repeat the same thing for your ceiling. To do that, again, I'm going to click on Insert, Shapes, Rectangle, and hold my left button down and place it right about there. Right. And I'm going to right click, hit send to the back. And for your ceiling, you may want to click on this, and for your color, you decide. Well, I'm going to click on, for simplicity, I'm going to click on maybe a a marble ceiling. I don't know. How about this one? Yeah. And then click on my down arrow, and there won't be a line. And it makes it like that. And there you go. Hopefully that's just an example. Remember that. You decide what you would like. Okay, next you have to decide, what is your museum about? Well, what are you going to do with it? I'm going to cover the Civil War. So what I did is I went to the internet, and here's a picture. I'm going to right click, hit copy, go back to my PowerPoint, and I'm going to hit Control V to paste. And this is kind of big, so let's make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to place this right over here. Now you decide, when you click on it, up at the top you'll notice it says Picture Styles. You decide what you want. I'm going to choose this one because I think that looks pretty sharp. Okay, looks like it's an old picture. Matter of fact, that really looks good. Now, repeat the same procedure. I'm not going to I'm going to go back to the internet again and show you where I am, but let me pause here and capture another picture. I captured another picture. However, we do not want this at the bottom, so I'm going to double click on here, click on the cropping tool, and let's crop this off. Okay, so that's not the picture I want, and I'm going to grab the handle, reduce it, and slide it in right about here. Now, when I double click on it, you determine by going through your picture styles which one you like the best. They all look pretty good, I think. It's hard to make a choice, but you can determine yourself which one you think is appropriate. I'm going to choose this one. Okay, now if you want the borders that color, that's fine. So in essence, what you would be doing here is placing pictures around this area. Now, hopefully this made sense. And you can see it does look pretty good. Okay, let's go to the next part. In this next example, briefly, I'd taken a picture, and when I clicked on it, I'd used this background. However, for the picture border, you can choose a color that you might like, something that would make it stand out. I'm going to choose this one. So you can change those to any color you'd like. Okay, the next picture we want is got to go over here on the trapezoid. So I'm going to click on Insert, Shapes, and click on my trapezoid and put it right down here so you can see what's going on. Okay, now we need to put a picture in there, and to do that I'm simply going to, I've saved a picture already, so I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on Shape Fill Picture, and I called it number 1, and I'm going to click on Insert. Now what's interesting here, if you look carefully, you'll see that the picture is upright. However, when we rotate it, it's going to be sideways, and that's not good. We want it straight up and down. To fix that, simply right click again, hit Format Shape or Picture, click on Fill, and at the bottom you see it says Rotate with Shape. Click that. Now it's going to be the right size. Now what you may want to do here is, you'll see the line is gray. However, let's change that to maybe a different color. You don't want green, maybe something in a blue. Alright, and then we'd simply grab it and put it right about there. So now we have a trapezoid. So it looks like the picture is going in depth. Alright, let me repeat the same process on the other side. Okay, here's our trapezoid, and click on my down arrow, and I've already saved my picture. Click on Picture, and this will be number 2, and click on Insert. Now when I turn this, I got to turn it this way this time, and in doing so the picture turned. But remember, I'm going to right click, hit Format, click on here for Fill, and click off Rotate. Make this a little bit larger, and let's move that bad boy right about there. That looks pretty good. I can probably just leave it the way it is. Okay, so in essence, there are our pictures, and you could probably create more and travel down. Now remember this, I'm going to take my mouse here, right click, and duplicate that slide so that we have 2 of them. Now the next thing we want to do is place something here at the top to say exactly what we're covering. To do that, we can go to Word Art. So I'm going to click on Insert, Word Art. Now there's other options here, but this is just one. Click here, and let me grab this and move this up right about there, and let me type in Civil War. Okay, there you go. We typed in Civil War. Now remember, save and save often, but let's look at this one and see what it looks like when we're actually running it. Now remember, you can also save this as a JPEG. Okay, here's what it looks like in our PowerPoint presentation. That looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay, now remember, you can have more than one picture or more than one slide like this, so you can do as much as you want. This is a great introduction to your presentation. One more thing before we end this video, or 2 more things. 1, you can always change the background. 2, what you might want to do is save this PowerPoint slide as a JPEG. Simply, it's very simple to do. Simply click on the word File, Save As, and instead of a PowerPoint presentation, click your down arrow and go to JPEG. And then when you hit Save, it will save it. We'll save just this one slide alone. It will save it as a JPEG, so you can use it elsewhere in whatever you're dealing with. Now, hopefully you understand that you are the author, and what's really nice about this is you create your own presentation, and we hopefully you understand that that's extremely important. You are the author, and you use your imagination in this lesson. Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll watch some more of our videos.